Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Scottie Sports Talk, streaming live from the Stadium Center on the campus of Highland Community College and keeping you up to date with everything happening in Highland athletics. It was another solid week for the Highland athletic programs. HCC volleyball team went 4-1 on the week. Also, the Scottie football team got back on track as they defeated Iowa Western this past Saturday at home from Kessinger Field. Former Scottie football players had another big outing on Saturday at the Division I level. Southeast Missouri State running back Will Young, 2015 HCC grad, rushed the ball 16 times for 102 yards and 1 touchdown and had 2 receptions for 22 yards in their loss to Tennessee Tech. Former Highland alum Troy Grant, now at Abilene Christian University, caught the ball 7 times for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns in their 52-27 win over Incarnate Word on Saturday. KU defensive tackle DeIsaac Davis, 2016 Highland alum, recorded 5 tackles and 1 sack in their loss to Oklahoma State Saturday afternoon. And Cincinnati Bearcat Josh Pasley, 2015 Highland graduate, knocked down a 42-yard field goal and went 4 for 4 on extra points, helping his team defeat East Carolina 31-19. You can find a complete list of Scottie's playing Division I football on our website at scottieathletics.com. In this week's episode, we have head women's volleyball coach John Bengesser joining us. He also brought along sophomores Mariana Falls and Demi Bartonek to talk about going 4-1 this past week. Head football coach Aaron Arnold will be joining us. He brought along sophomore running back Marquez Terry and freshman offensive lineman Michael Davis. They're going to talk about their 24-15 victory over the Reavers of Iowa Western this past Saturday. And head coach Chad Clevenger is back on the show, and he brought along 2 student athletes to talk about their upcoming Region 6 championship race on Friday down in Hutchinson. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be joined by head volleyball coach John Bengesser. You're watching Scottie Sports Talk. And welcome back to Scottie Sports Talk, streaming live from the campus of Highland Community College right here in the Stadium Center. Now joining us, head women's volleyball coach John Bengesser. John, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Tyler.
John, you've had a successful week, going 4-1, beating Heston, North Iowa area, Iowa Central, and Iowa Lakes, and only falling to Des Moines Area Community College on Saturday. Tell us about going 4-1 this past week.
Well, we had a tough week. I knew our tournament this weekend was going to be tough. We kind of had a stretch there that we'll probably talk about here later on, but I knew we had to rebound from that, and I thought the girls did a great job, and it was a good feeling to just add some more wins, especially this time of the season.
We'll go back to last Wednesday. You went into that game versus Heston kind of on a bit of a losing streak, but 5 out of those 6 losses came to ranked opponents in some very, very tough competition, both at Division I and Division II level. What were your thoughts going into the game against Heston?
Well, like I said, we knew after going on that little slump that we wanted to pound somebody. I mean, we wanted to just beat somebody. And you know, I felt kind of bad for Heston because we really went in and took care of business and put ourselves back on track.
Yeah, well, you took care of the business 3-0 down at Heston last Wednesday. Coach, all 5 of your sophomore girls contributed to that win. What are some of the pros and cons to playing so many sophomores throughout a season?
It's great to have the sophomore experience on the floor because coming in as a freshman, no matter what level of competition that you've had in your past, JUCO volleyball it's different. It has a different speed, it has a different atmosphere, and so it does take some time to get used to that. And having those sophomores on there with that experience that they've had with a year of playing, you know, it makes me feel more comfortable as a coach on the sideline because I know that they're out there relaxed, they're out there with the right expectations, and then they're passing that along to the freshmen who step on the floor as well.
Coach, Friday morning you made the long haul all the way up to Fort Dodge, Iowa to participate in the Triton Invitational. You'd already previously beaten Iowa Central and lost a close 5-set match earlier in the season to DMAC. How do you prepare to play teams a second time around?
Well, depending on how we play them the first time will determine a lot about how we prepare the second time. If we lose, we're definitely going to prepare a lot differently than we did the first time. For instance, with DMAC, I thought maybe this time we over-prepared against them because we were a little a little nervous playing them, which I didn't expect. But definitely playing Iowa Central again, we knew that they wanted the revenge, and they had just came off of a 3-0 sweep against Cali, and so we knew that playing them right after that win was going to be tough. And so we actually kind of had a preposition for them right away, so right before the match started. So I think that paid off. So.
Coach, you had 3 players on the all-tournament team this past weekend, and Leslie Polanco, Megan Rule, and Tyresia Lukes. Talk about their play.
I thought this weekend was the best that Megan's ever played in terms of setting-wise. She was connecting with Ty better than she'd had this entire season, giving her not just a high ball that she can extend to, because, I mean, Ty can touch 10 feet 4 inches. So, I mean, even her quick tempo ball needs to be higher than the average girl's tempo ball, quick tempo. So Meg was actually getting the ball high enough and fast enough to where Ty would go up and she would beat the block every time and was still, feet above them. And it was good to see that. I thought Leslie played her best tournament defensively this weekend. She would get balls up that normally, on the other side they expected a kill, and she popped it up, and we were able to take momentum back. And had her defense not been like that, I don't know if we would have won that 5-set match against Iowa Central.
Your team's blocking game stood out on the weekend with totals of 15 solo blocks and 38 block assists, with the majority of those coming from sophomore Mariana Falls and freshman Koya Roscoe. How has Falls improved from her freshman to sophomore year?
Last year, Mariana, she was kind of a utility girl. She was we recruited her as a right side, outside, a wing player, and so having her as a middle this year is kind of unexpected for both of us. I know she wasn't expecting to play middle this season, but thankfully she has, and she's adjusted to that role. I mean, we've been receiving national votes all year, and this is a girl who's never played middle ever, and she's playing middle 6 rotations. She's the only middle in our conference that does that. She's the only middle that we've seen this entire season that plays 6 rotations. So for her to go from back row defense to front row defense and block pin to pin, something that she hasn't experienced before, and her having her success at it, it's been great.
Let's talk about sophomore Demi Bartneck. She'll be on the show with us later, but Demi was named Scottie Athlete of the Week for her performance of 17 digs 2 weekends ago against Division I ranked opponent Indian Hills, and recently recorded 7 digs versus Heston and played a few rotations over the weekend. How has Demi stepped up in her role as a sophomore?
Demi stepped up mentally and physically. I mean, Demi's one that I've known for a very long time. Before coaching here, she was a member of my club program, and so I've known Demi for a long time, and I've known what she's capable of, and seeing her play against Indian Hills was seeing her at her best. And so having her peak at the right time now is beneficial for everybody.
Coach, you traveled to Arc City to play Cali College this Wednesday. They are 1 spot ahead of you in the conference, but they lost Iowa Central at the Triton Invitational. I think you guys probably saw that match, and then you went on to beat Iowa Central later in the day. What do you expect going down there on Wednesday?
Well, we know going to Cali, first of all, it's a really long drive, so we're going to be on that bus for a while, so we'll have plenty of time to mentally prepare, but playing Cali at home is going to be hard. They've only had 1 home loss this season, and it was to Coffeyville. And we know that we're at a precipice in our season where we need to beat this team to get the seeding that we want for conference. And so I think mentally right now we're in the right place. It'll just see if we can physically show up and perform on Wednesday.
The Skies are 23-12 overall and travel to Cali College on Wednesday to take on the Tigers. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to be joined by sophomores Mariana Falls and Demi Bartneck to talk more Scottie volleyball. You're watching Scottie Sports Talk. And welcome back to Scottie Sports Talk, streaming live from the campus of Highland Community College right here in the Stadium Center. Now joining us, sophomore volleyball players Demi Bartneck and Mariana Falls. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's good to have you here. Demi, I'll start with you. You recently, and Coach John just talked about it, but you really recently recorded your best career 17 digs and earning Scottie Athlete of the Week last week. What does that stat and honor mean to you?
Getting Athlete of the Week was definitely an honor, but I think getting like 17 digs against Indian Hills definitely boosted my confidence for like when I go in, knowing that I can get the digs. I think it helped my team's confidence too, knowing that when I went in, they can rely on me.
Demi, what have been some of your goals the past 2 seasons here as HCC volleyball player?
Going in my freshman year, I didn't really know what to expect, so I was just planned on working hard. And when I got in to do my job, but going in my sophomore year, I knew what I needed to work on, and my goal was just to get better at it. And when I went in to do my job and help my team out as much as I could.
Mariana, what has been the biggest change for you from freshman to sophomore season?
Position and mentality. I definitely knew like coming in this year that I was going to have to step up and be a leader to these freshmen and to like get them going on the same page that we're on. And transferring from like being outside and right side to the middle was a big difference. So like I feel like I've adapted really well with that, and I enjoy it now. So.
You've been very reliable on both sides of the ball, both offensively and defensively all season. This past weekend, you had 33 kills, 11 total blocks, 22 digs, and 5 service aces. What stood out about this weekend's play as an individual and as a team?
As a team, I feel like we really connected. Like throwing Koi in, this is like the first first games that we really tried that, and we adapted really well with her. We connected on a few really good blocks this weekend, and it's so good to have like a strong right side in there to help us. So. That's nice, and as an individual, I felt like I just needed to go in and do my job because I have my whole team behind me. Like I know they need me to do what I need to do.
I'll ask both of you this one. You have 2 games left in the regular season. You go down to Cali College on Wednesday, and then you have Wentworth Academy next week, and then it's on to district play. What's the mindset of the team right now?
Our mindset is really strong. We know what we have to do, and we just need to do it. So, like, we go to practice and we make sure we do our jobs, we get in and get out. And then for Cali, we just know we need to play our absolute best game. And then when we come to districts, we'll take it a game at a time.
I think we have a really positive mindset, and our mindset right now is to kind of kill. Every day after practice, we always say WV because our goal is to get to West Virginia by the end of it.
Great. Another question for both of you. What has been the best part about being an HCC student athlete over the last 2 years?
I just like how small of a school it is and that everyone supports you no matter what.
Definitely playing with these girls, like Ty is an amazing middle to play with. I really look up to her as a middle. I feel like she helped me a lot. And having Shaylee and Leslie as outsides, they're amazing. And we have awesome liberos, like they go in and do what they need to do. So it's nice to have that.
What will you guys take away from an experience of playing volleyball at the collegiate level?
I think leadership and like commitment and knowing that you have to work for what you want.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I'll always have these memories to look back on and enjoy.
Well, ladies, you have already recorded 23 wins, 2 games to go. That is the most wins in Highland history since 2011, so it's been about a 5-year drought before we've gotten over that 20 win mark, but it's good to see you guys up there now. Not over yet. Good luck on Wednesday as you go down to Cali and then on into district play.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us tonight, ladies. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be joined by head football coach Aaron Arnold and sophomore running back Marquez Terry to talk about their win over Iowa Western Saturday from Kessinger Field. You're watching Scottie Sports Talk. And welcome back to Scottie Sports Talk. Now joining us, head football coach Aaron Arnold and sophomore running back Marquez Terry. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, I'll start with you. Coach, you defeated Iowa Western 24-15 on Saturday. That was Highland's first ever win over the Reavers. Talk to us about last Saturday.
It's a good win. Anytime you can have a milestone win and beat a team that you've never been able to beat, I think just in terms of what it means to the program, it's exciting. At the end of the day, for us, it's we're at the point where I feel like I repeat this a lot, but we expect to win every game that we play, and we expected to win that game. And it's a good win, but I hope, just like I did as I watched the film, when our guys went back and watched the film, we all learned from it and realized at the end of the day we really didn't play that well, and there's still things we need to do to keep getting better as the season goes on.
Coach, 2 dropped punts gave the Reavers a short field, and they were able to find the end zone both times. But other than that, your defense did a great job of kind of limiting their offense and keeping them in check.
The defense was outstanding. All of the points that Iowa Western scores were the result of mistakes in the special teams. We had the 2 muff punts, we had the safety on a punt, and those are the things that are frustrating as a head coach, where you look at the final score, and I'm happy to get a win, but we didn't play as well as we could have, and those are the things that at this point in the season, we're too far into this thing to be making those mistakes. And so as we go out this week and practice, those are the little things that we'll be working on and making sure that we're improving and getting fixed.
Marquez, I feel like I'm repeating myself week in, week out, but another great performance on Saturday. You went for 167 yards and 3 touchdowns. Talk to us about Saturday's game.
Thank you. Saturday's game, just every week in and week out, just go perform, do my job, trust my line up front, and go out and have fun. Let my coach believe in me, give me the ball so many times, and just perform and keeping that trust in me. And I enjoy myself when I'm out there.
Marquez, Saturday's performance put you over the 1,000-yard mark for career rushing yards here at Highland Community College. Congratulations on that. You now have 1,104 career rushing yards at Highland with 3 games to play. How does it feel to be in the 1,000-yard club?
It's an honor to be to leave my mark at this school. To have the school, have someone that be in the organization to perform as well as me, and just be able to enjoy myself while I'm here and leave my mark and let people know that I was here.
Coach, we can all see Marquez's numbers, and we can see that he's a great player from a statistical standpoint of things, but what are the things that an average fan doesn't get to see that makes Marquez such a special player?
Well, I think probably what people miss about a lot of our players is how hard these guys work, and not just the day before the game or 2 days before the game, year round. Marquez has been with us since basically July of last year, so pushing the 2-year mark, and he shows up every single day ready to go to work, whether it's Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. or Thursday night at 7 o'clock or whatever we're doing. Marquez shows up and he's ready to work hard. Marquez is one of the most coachable guys we have. He's a yes sir, no sir guy, and that's one of the most important things that we look for in recruiting is we want yes sir, no sir guys. And when you talk to Marquez about what you want done, that's what you get from him is a yes sir, no sir, or sometimes maybe just a head nod, which is just good enough for me. He understands our philosophy, which is go out and do your job, and he goes out and does his job. He does it as hard as he can. He listens to his coaches. He wants to get better every day, and he just does the things that you're supposed to do to be a great football player.
Marquez, let's go back to the 4th quarter of Saturday's game. There was a play, Highland, I believe it was set up with a 3rd and long, and Coach, again, handed the ball off to you. I believe you broke about 4 tackles and drug a Iowa Western guy another few yards for a gain of 22 yards and picking up the first down to put your team in a position to go in and get one more score, a score you'd run in for 6 yards later, down a few plays later. Take us through that play.
Just knowing that I needed to get to the needed to convert the 3rd down, going down in distance. I know I just had to keep moving so my team would keep going forward and not give the ball back to the opposing team so that we keep moving forward in this game. So.
All right, guys, you don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to bring on our freshman O-lineman, Michael Davis, to talk about how he's able to get Marquez up and down the field. You're watching Scottie Sports Talk. And welcome back to Scottie Sports Talk. Still joining us, head coach Aaron Arnold, sophomore running back Marquez Terry, but now freshman offensive lineman Mike Davis. Mike, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, sir.
Mike, take us through Saturday's game from an O-lineman's perspective.
It was a dogfight in Coach's words. So being in the trenches, man, it takes a lot. You got to be a real man to be down there. So, I mean, we had fun blocking for him. Like, he's a fun guy. Like, watching him run and stuff like that, it's fun. So I enjoy my job. So Saturday was fun. I can tell you that much.
As you heard just a minute ago, your running back, guy sitting right next to you, just surpassed the 1,000-yard mark for career rushing yards here at Highland Community College. How does that make you feel as an O-lineman, knowing you helped him get to that milestone there?
I feel great, man, because 1,000 yards is a lot of yards. So you have to be a real tough running back to get that many yards. So it's all a part of the plan. I love what I do. So if he's shining, I'm shining. So that's pretty much how I look at it.
Marquez, tell us more about the guy sitting next to you here, Mike, and the entire O-line that you run behind.
Big physical O-line. I love him. He has a bigger personality than he's showing right now. But I love my guys up front. I can be myself with them, and they can be themselves with me. We trust them.
Coach, you were an O-lineman, I believe, most of your career. Is that a fair estimate? So I know coaching this group and especially the group of O-linemen, they really mean a lot to you. What has this year's group been like to coach and just be around?
This is one of my favorite groups. I always love getting to coach the O-line. It's my favorite group. We kind of have our own little team within a team, and what the O-line ends up being is all the selfless guys. It's all the guys who all we care about is the team and the team's success, because at the end of the day, Mike doesn't get his name called over the PA system unless he screwed up, basically. And like Mike just said, if the running back shines, that means we shine. And so we kind of get to experience our success through the success of other people, and I think that's what makes the group so fun. This group I was unbelievably nervous going into the season because everyone was going to be a freshman starter that had never played a snap of college football. And we've had some growing pains as we went through the season. If you go back and watch some of the film, I mean, there's some games where we aren't very good up front, and through really no one's fault. It's just part of being a freshman offensive lineman. And so what has ended up happening, though, is these guys have turned into one of the better groups that I've ever had the opportunity to coach just because they listen. They're very humble, one of the most humble groups I've had. They want to be coached. I don't have to coach effort ever. Well, I won't say ever, but rarely do I have to coach effort. For the most part, they show up every day and they want to go to work and they want to get better. And it's really been a really fun season getting to coach these guys. And what's really exciting is that most of them are going to come back, and I'm going to need to do it all over again with these guys again next year.
So, Mike, I'll start with you on this question. Is it your great blocking that has made Quez so successful this season, or is Quez just that good of a runner?
I think Quez is that good. I'm telling you, it's crazy watching him because you just don't see that everywhere. That kind of fight, that kind of willpower to just get extra. You just don't see that. So, and I love that type of stuff. I love blocking for that. So I think it really is just great running. He's a great runner. So that's great.
Quez, I'll jump over to you. Tell us, or tell all the listeners here, one thing they probably don't know about Big Mike.
About Big Mike, he has a great personality. I don't say that. He's not showing it right now, but he has a great personality. He's not very shy once you get to know him.
All right, Mike. One thing the viewers probably don't know about Marquez here.
He don't like to talk. He only gonna talk if he has to. It's so hard trying to talk to him, but I do it anyway because I like messing with him. So he loves me, I love him. So that's how we handle things.
All right, Coach. One thing about both of these guys here that most people probably don't know.
Well, I don't know. I was laughing when Mike said that people don't know that Quez is quiet. If they've watched the show, they know he's quiet. Quez strikes me as the kind of guy that maybe when you get him behind closed doors, maybe he gets a little bit louder. But we always kind of laugh. Our first impression of Mike, we picked him up from the airport. And I think we'd had him, maybe in the van for a minute, and he was asking where the closest wing stop was at. He was trying to get some buffalo wings, which I don't blame the guy. So that's always my first impression of Mike. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything people don't know about Quez. That's a tough one.
he won't let you win anything.
He tries to make it that way on purpose, I guess. So.
Well, it's working. Coach, you traveled to Fort Scott on Saturday to take on the Greyhounds. What do you expect heading into this weekend's matchup?
It's like we say every week, they're going to be a really good football team. At this point in our conference, you better have your head screwed on every single Saturday when you go out there because you're going to play a really, really good football team. They're outstanding on offense. They're spread up tempo. They throw the ball all over the yard. Our defense is going to have their handful. They're very physical, very sound on defense. They really get after people up front. They've got a couple big D linemen that are really good players, and we know going into it we're going to have our hands full.
The Skies are 5-3 overall this season, and they take on Fort Scott this Saturday, October 29th, on the road. That kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Guys, thanks for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Tyler.
And good luck on Saturday.
Thanks.
We're going to take a short break, and when we return, head cross-country coach Chad Clevenger will be joining us, along with sophomore runner Isaiah Smith and freshman runner Ivana Uribe. You're watching Scottie Sports Talk. And welcome back to Scottie Sports Talk, streaming live from the campus of Highland Community College here in the Stadium Center. Now joining us, head cross-country coach Chad Clevenger, sophomore Isaiah Smith, and freshman runner Ivana Uribe. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, Tyler.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you, Isaiah. Coach, I'll start with you. It's been a few weeks since you've been on, but your last competition was down in El Dorado as you competed in the Ollieism Invitational. Tell us about that race.
Hot. Very hot. 92 degrees, 35-mile-an-hour winds. It was a hot, rough day. The main goal we had is we wanted to see the course for the national meet, and we got to see it. We really want to see our 5, 6, 7 guys kind of step up, and we did some work with them during the race, and we had some really good stuff in the middle of the group. So it was good to see.
Ivana, we'll jump over to you now. Tell us about your first season as a college runner.
It's been good. I mean, I honestly, when I was thinking of college running, I thought it was going to be a lot harder. It's not as bad as I thought, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, I love the team. It's awesome. I like it.
Isaiah, you are a sophomore here at Highland, but this is your first year competing in cross country. So I'll ask you this. How did you get your start, or who forced you into running cross country this season?
Tyler, I'll be real honest, and Coach told me not to tell anyone, but he had me in his office at gunpoint saying, if you don't run, I'm not going to give you the scholarship next year. So as I was kind of forced into it, there's no way out. But in reality, I kind of sucked last year going into track. It was my first year ever doing track. And so I'd going off 400 and then the 600 and the 8, and then Coach put me in the 15. So cross was kind of just a thing to get me in shape for track and get me better at that. So that's kind of how I got into that.
Coach, tell us more about these two runners here.
Well, Ivana's a huge signing for us. When we got her, I think it established us that our program is going in a good direction. And so she's put a lot of work in. She is a very steady person that when we're practicing, you know where she's going to be, and you know she's always going to be there. And meet-wise, she's probably the most consistent performer we've had all season. Isaiah he's the guy that makes the race happen. We've been struggling trying to find who our fifth guy is going to be, who our sixth guy is going to be, and who our seventh is going to be. And this is the guy that's making it happen in the middle of the race. He's the one that's stepping up, and he's bringing the intensity in practice. He's bringing the intensity in meets, and so he's put a lot of work in there to help those guys get better.
Ivana and Isaiah, how do you guys get prepared for a race? So it's race day. You're about to take off in about 30 minutes. How do you get prepared? Do you have some rituals? What's your kind of pregame makeup?
I kind of like to just put on a lot of like angry music and like scream on that kind of stuff and kind of zone out. I don't like to talk to people, kind of just forget what's going on and then take off my headphones and then kind of just get in race mode and goof around and then start the race. It's kind of weird, but it works.
Ivana, how about you?
When I was in high school, we had like this like motto. It was like MTXD, which is like mental toughness, extra effort. So usually when I'm running, I just repeat that. Or we had like I can, I will, I must, and so just like repeats that in my head. And I mean that's basically what gets me through, and just getting to the finish line and being able to sit down. Yeah, I mean it's tough, it is, but I mean I love it. Like just the running is awesome. I like it.
I'll ask both of you this one. What has been one of the highlights so far this season for each of you?
Probably the Missouri Southern meet. I didn't run very well. I thought I ran like crap, but overall as a team we ran, and I was pretty surprised about that. So it was probably the highlight, knowing that I did crappy, but as a team we did well and got first place. So.
My favorite was Ollie. I don't know how to say that second part.
Ollieism?
The Ollieism?
Yeah, it was freezing. Like it was like 30 degrees when we got there. We had to wake up at like 6 a.m., but it was like great. Like it was great running weather. Like it was freezing at the start, but like you warm up and it was great. Yeah.
That was Fort Hayes. She's talking.
The Fort Hayes.
Yeah.
The Fort Hayes Invitational, yes.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, it was very hot at the Ollieism last week. Coach, Region Championship week. How do you get the team prepared for this coming Saturday?
The last 6 days have been pretty heavy. The guys have put in double digits, three straight days now, and so we've been putting a lot of work in. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty heavy day, and then we're going to start backing off. We'll back off and get ready to be hopefully fresh on Saturday. Friday, we're going to check the course out on Friday night and get a little bit of a tour of it so we know what to prepare for, so we can step into Saturday ready to run well.
Coach, what do you expect on Saturday as your teams do compete in the Region 6 tournament, both from the men's and women's side?
It's crazy because we have 8 teams that are ranked in the top 25 in our region. So we could be anywhere from 3rd to 8th, and we could have a great race and still finish 8th, and we could have a bad race and finish 3rd. You just never know how it's going to be in the Jayhawk and in the region. So we're just going to go out and we're going to run hard. We're going to compete and kind of let the score take care of itself. And we still got 2 more weeks after the season to get ready for the national meet.
Yep. Well, guys, good luck this Saturday as you compete in the Region 6 championship.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks for joining us. Guys, that's all we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to keep up to date with everything happening in Highland Athletics by following us on Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat, or checking out our athletic website at scottieathletics.com. Thanks again, and have a great week.